Hi, I'm Mike Hibbett, and this video is an accompaniment to the PICnMix article in November 2021, Practical Electronics. So in that article, I described connecting our solar monitor project to the Thingsboard dashboard on the internet. And in this video, I'm just going to go through creating an account, logging in, and doing the very basic device creation and database, dashboard creation to enable you to generate the same kind of visuals that I showed in the article. So Thingsboard is a product made by a company called Thingsboard, and it's one of many services offered on the internet. But what I like about Thingsboard is that they offer a free trial version, so you can create an account and build your dashboard and use it for a reasonable period of time without having to pay or present credit card credentials or anything like this. Thingsboard is actually, although it's a professional hosted service that you pay for, the software that it's based on is completely open source and freely available to download and install on your own computers. That's great, but it comes with some complexity, so we'll stick with the freely available online hosted version for now. So Thingsboard is it's a very powerful and capable dashboarding service. You can create some very complex dashboards, and in fact, there's some great examples down here. Let's have a look, see more. So here we're monitoring the energy consumption in a building somewhere. And the documentation describes very clearly how to create dashboards like these. Some skills required. You will need to read and learn and experiment, but you don't need any coding skills. You don't have to write the software that's driving these displays. Instead, what Thingsboard do is provide a library of widgets, and each one of these displays here. So that's a bar graph widget. This is a pie chart widget. This is a line graph widget. These can be deposited on a dashboard in a kind of drag and drop, plug and play style arrangement. The dashboard that I created for the article is probably one of the simplest that you can do. So we're going to walk through exactly how I did that. So to sign up, you click on the Try It Now button, which brings you to the cloud service where we can click on Start for Free. And at this point, enter your email address, create a new password, click the Accept Policies as expected, and log in. You are not presented with a request for credit card or payment details at all, which I like. And once you've signed up and logged in, you'll be presented with a user interface like this. And as you can see up here, Mike Hibbett, I'm logged in to my private personal workspace. So any of the dashboards or devices that I create here, the data that's stored on the service relating to those, that's all private by default. However, you do have the ability to make items publicly available to people if you so wish. And for dashboards, that can be quite useful. You can make a dashboard of say the weather in your location, freely accessible, and people can only view. They can't modify any of those creations. So before we come along and create a dashboard, we need to create a virtual device, what we in the trade like to call a digital twin of the device. And this ultimately really provides a description of the device and generate a unique password which you use from that device when it's sending data up to the cloud. That password provides two distinct benefits. The first one is it gives some protection to the data storage that you're using. But the other thing is it allows Thingsboard to recognize from that password what device is, who it belongs to, and can then transfer that data into storage and out to any dashboard that is being viewed at one time. There's an administrative task that we need to do before creating a device, and that's to create a device profile. Oops, I need to sign back in again. Let's cancel that. Cancel, thank you. Log in with Google. Grand, we're back in. So let's create a device profile. When you create an account, the system will actually populate it with some template devices, profiles, and dashboards. You're free to delete those or view them at your pleasure. This is the device profile that we created, but I'm just going to come in and create a new one. So I'll click on the plus icon up here, create a new device profile. I'm going to call this temperature monitor, and that's all I need to do. We can configure as part of this the transport configuration, which is an explanation of how devices of type temperature monitor will transfer their data to Thingsboard. But because of the way in which we're sending data via an HTTP post, we can leave everything as defaults. Having done that, we can now go to devices. Here you can see our solar monitor that I made before, and we can create a new device. So this form is the details that map to the physical device, the solar monitor device or whatever that exists in the field. So let's call this temperature sensor, and it's a unique device, so we have to give it its serial number, so let's say 001, and the label, which can be used for a shorter version to be displayed on dashboards, let's call this TM0001. And as I mentioned, we have to select a device profile, so that was temperature monitors, and that's it. We've now created that that device. As part of the creation of that device, Thingsboard, let's go back in, I'll left click and edit it. Thingsboard has created an access token, and that we need to take a copy of, because that is the string of text that goes into your device's transmit code. So here's the software loop within our PIC processor, and as you can see here, here's the post where it's posting a message to the Thingsboard at that address, and then there's a string of text. That's the access token. So we copy our access token in there. So that provides us, as I mentioned, two things. One, it's the authentication to transmit data to Thingsboard, and the second one is it allows Thingsboard to know where that data actually came from. So let's come out of here and let's close this dialog down. So we've got some devices. We'd now like to visualize them. That's the whole joy of this system. So again, as I mentioned, that here are some dashboards that have been previously created as part of the template when you create an account. These dashboards will be consuming data from sensors, other sensors that are defined elsewhere. Let's go ahead and create a new dashboard, and we're going to title this one Temperature Monitor, and we can give it a more detailed description. This section here is to allow you to make some customizations for the display of the dashboard when you're running it on a mobile device. Sounds interesting. I've not actually tried it myself yet, but really we've just created a dashboard. Let's go in now, left click and edit that dashboard. So we click Open Dashboard, and there's nothing on it. And there's nothing on it because we haven't added any widgets to it. So let's click the Edit button and now click here to choose a widget. And there are a lot of widgets. These are directories of widgets. So there are a large number of widgets underneath these. Let's go into Charts and choose a time series, which is the same as we used on the solar voltage monitor. And now we need to tell it what the data sources are. So that is what devices data is going to be sucked into this dashboard. So let's go ahead, and we're going to be selecting entities, which are devices. And we need to give it an alias, which is just another name. I don't know why. I could probably look this up, but if I type in something like TMON for temperature mon, is it going to let me do that? Yeah. Oh, filter type. Right, so what it's saying is this data source one device or a number of devices? Well, it's just a single device. So now we can tell it which device in our list of devices we actually want to connect to this dashboard, and we'll use temperature sensor number 1. Click Add, and now the data, which particular keys or variables from that data stream that we want to display. And we're not able to display or select anything, and the reason for that is that this device hasn't generated any data yet, and we haven't told Thingsboard what data it generates. So that's quite reasonable. So just for the process of demonstrating how to do this, let's go back and choose a different device. We can still call this TMON if we want. Let's just go back and do that again. So we'll go for charts, line series, add a data source, entity alias smon, single entity, call it TMON just to differentiate it, and it's a physical device. It wants us to do that. That's okay. So let's select the solar monitor, which is a device which has generated data. If we go Add, now we have a choice. So let's go with solar volts. I know it's not temperature, but at least it is real data. And we could, if we want, add more variables from that device, but let's just go with that for now. We go Add, nothing on there because that device isn't transmitting at the moment. But up here we can change the range of time and dates that this chart is showing. So let's look at the data that's been transmitted from that device in the last day, and there we go. That's the data. We're calling it temperature, but of course it's actually voltage. Now, There are some labels for the axes missing here. That's terrible. So let's go in and edit this widget and go to settings. And now we can go to advanced and we get to have a look at our axes. So the x-axis, well, that's time, and the y-axis is, well, we've called it temperature monitor, but actually it's volts. So let's put volts or voltage there. So we click apply, and then we click close that icon, and we can see our axes have been updated, and I can click save, and that is it. That dashboard now exists. We can click here to leave it up full screen, and that will slowly in real time move along and update. And we can now go back to dashboards. With that dashboard that we've created, we can come over here and mark it as being public. So make dashboard public. That will now give us a URL, this stream of text here, which I can copy by going there. And that will allow anybody using that URL to view your graph live in real time. And as I mentioned earlier, they can come back and modify the range of data that we're looking at on that graph. It's very powerful, but they can't edit anything or go and look at anything else that's not public. The solar monitor one is public. So there we are. I hope that was helpful, and we'll have more details on Thingsboard, and particular in the way in which the data is encoded. So we'll explain what this whole JSON string actually means. Thanks for listening. Hope that was helpful.